So not long after Oklahoma's win over TCU this weekend, it was announced that OU offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby would no longer be serving as offensive coordinator for the Sooners and instead would be taking the vacant head coaching job at Mississippi State. Today, we need to break this down. We need to talk about why this makes sense for Jeff Lebby, and most importantly, we need to talk about where the Sooners go from here. Before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I've got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you excited to see who Brent Venables hires as the next offensive coordinator? And give me some names you're interested in. I can't wait to hear from you. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. But having said all this, let's jump right into it. And as a video is going around Twitter of a take I had about 8 months ago, this is something I think if you're an Oklahoma fan, you had to be expecting, that Jeff Lebby would be looking at other opportunities. Not to say that he was looking to jump ship from Oklahoma, but he is a guy that has been a name passed around as being someone who may be getting head coaching opportunities. Alas, that's where we end up. And one of the things I talk about all the time whenever we're talking about coaches in college football, these opportunities don't come knocking often. And when they do come knocking, you're probably best served taking them, and especially in this instance, Jeff Lebby is going to be taking over a team in Mississippi State that has had a lot of turmoil over the past 2 years. From the passing of Mike Leach, may he rest in peace, to the firing of Zach Arnett, which to me was a little bit head-scratching because you had to know if you were Mississippi State that hiring a guy that was taking over a program that was built in the vein of the Mike Leach offense and trying to transition it to a pro-style offense and a defensive-first program, you had to know that was going to take time. Time is exactly what they didn't give Arnett, and here we end up. But Jeff Lebby now gets to inherit this program, and he has ties to the state of Mississippi because he just served as the offensive coordinator to Ole Miss, and I think that is something that if you're a Mississippi State fan, you have to be very happy about. The fact that he can hit the ground running on the recruiting trail, he's going to have a ton of familiarity, his name is going to have a ton of recognition because he's put together top offenses. When he was at Ole Miss, the Ole Miss offense was unbelievable. When he was at Oklahoma, the Oklahoma offense has consistently been a top 15 offense in the nation under his direction. So if you're a Mississippi State fan, I can easily see why you're excited. It's a young hire, an exciting hire. The players are going to be moved by this, and it's a name that has familiarity in the state of Mississippi. And I think that's a big reason for the excitement among Hail State fans. But what about Oklahoma? Where do the Oklahoma Sooners go from here? And as I pointed out in that same video 8 months ago, I think Brent Venables started prepping for this very move last offseason. Because last offseason, Jeff Lebby's name was attached to several other jobs. He was offered an opportunity to come interview for the Alabama job, which he turned down, staying at Oklahoma. But there was talk of some other programs offering him opportunities at head coaching positions. Now, I don't believe that they were Power 5 opportunities, but they were head coaching opportunities nonetheless. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's just some things I was told. Ultimately, he stayed at Oklahoma. At the point where a Power 5 opportunity emerged, I think it makes complete sense to take it. Once again, we just said this. Those opportunities don't come knocking often. Take it when they come. But what does Oklahoma do from here? Well, as I alluded to, Brent Venables, he's smart. He's cognizant of Jeff Lebby's future. They went out and made a move last offseason that, in my opinion, laid the foundations to them being able to take this loss and keep on going. And that was bringing in Seth Littrell. Seth Littrell has ties to the state of Oklahoma. He has ties to the state of Texas. We talked about his coaching acumen, what he had accomplished. But one of the things you have to love is he's been in the building. Not only does he has all that familiarity to OU, to Oklahoma, to Texas, those recruiting pipelines, he's got familiarity to the players already on staff. And that, in the transfer portal era, can be incredibly powerful. If you're wondering if Oklahoma could lose players because of Jeff Lebby leaving, you want to make sure you don't have that exodus. Hire someone that has some familiarity, or hire someone that the players are going to be excited about. In the case of Seth Littrell, he's someone that has that familiarity with the players. He can come right in, understand what needs to be done because he's already been in the building, and understand the players that can help him accomplish that goal. And that's something I do find to be compelling, but he will not be the only name on this list. As we continue going down this search, there are going to be several names pop up, and I can't wait to see what Brent Venables ends up doing. One such name that keeps popping up is Korn, as he has ties to Brent Venables when they were at Clemson, and that would be another intriguing name. A name that has produced big-time offenses, but he just doesn't have the familiarity with the current Oklahoma staff, the current Oklahoma player base. And that is an area where I think Seth Littrell is really interesting. Littrell has head coaching experience. He has been a college football coach. You'd be getting a seasoned guy with a ton of experience, with experience in major pipelines that knows your roster, which I do find very interesting. Now, there have been other names attached to the offensive coordinator job, and we're going to watch as the names continue to trickle in, but I can't wait to hear from all of you. Who do you think it will be? Ultimately, I think Brent Venables started prepping for this months ago. I think he saw the writing on the wall last season. Whenever Lebby was getting opportunities to come and interview or getting calls from other places, I think he knew, hey, you got a bright future ahead of you, especially as we continue putting up big-time offenses. And I know, OU fans, you were a little bit frustrated with Jeff Lebby, and there were times situationally where absolutely it was deserved. But at the end of the day, he still put up big-time offenses, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does at Mississippi State and what Oklahoma does to mitigate this loss. I can't wait to see what happens. There's already been one decommitment for the Oklahoma Sooners in Ezun Kunma, but I don't know that we're going to see some mass exodus from the transfer portal or for recruiting. Whenever we look at the way Brent Venables runs this program, he requires a level of buy-in, and in my opinion, that level of buy-in will see this through to where Oklahoma is not going to be losing key guys. They're not going to be losing recruits that are going to cause Oklahoma fans to panic, and ultimately, I think that's the most important thing. So, hop down to the comments, let me know who you think it will be. Seth Littrell is an interesting name, and it's a name that I talked about 8 months ago to be prepping for this very scenario, and here we have arrived. We'll be talking about this more this evening, 5:30 Central Standard Time on the live stream. You already know we're going to try and get the entire panel on. PGJ, I'll be sending out the bat signal to them, and we're going to see if we can't have a roundtable discussion about this. Until then, can't wait to hear from you. That's it. See you.